And then just here, please. And over here. Yeah. And then go to start with it. Perfect smile.
It was a delayed reaction, yeah. I think because I've been on a job at the moment, so my brain has been elsewhere. So over the course of the few weeks after I found out, it started to sink in more and more. And the joy kind of just began to increase within myself. So, yeah, delayed reaction, but so kind of flabbergasted. It's such an honor. It's such a joy to be part of it. Shows that people are responsive to it. It's really special, particularly because I moved here 6 years ago, and I was like going through. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. I told her, and this was one that felt particularly special. So I didn't tell a lot of people. I told my mum and maybe one other, and obviously my team knew. But I told my mum, and I said, "Don't tell anyone, okay?" And she's like, "Daryl, I won't." And I came home for Christmas, and I went to tell my uncle in the car, and he was just like, the way he was trying to pretend as if he was hearing it for the first time, I was like, "You found out from Mum, didn't you?" And he was like, "Yeah, she told me." And he goes, "If you ever want a secret kept, don't tell your mother." I was like, "Okay, fair enough, lesson learned." But yeah, they're all so delighted for me, and they've been part of the whole journey, up until this moment. So they're chuffed.
I was over the moon because I like I said, I think sometimes when you're working and you're on the grind and you're like thinking about the next project and stuff, you don't necessarily think about the after effect. And for me, this was a lovely surprise. It came after I'd come back from promoting, Whitney, I Want to Dance with Somebody, and it felt like a really beautiful full stop. And I keep on saying it, but it just feels like a time for celebration. Like the whole kind of idea of competition in this feels like null and void because I love Sheila Atim so much. I love Daryl. I love all the actors, and to be a part of the group is just like great. We're just gonna have. I texted Shelia yesterday. I was like, we're gonna have such a laugh, mate. This is gonna be really fun.
And the next one for me. That's it. Big smile, guys. And get the ball for me.
Yeah, the red carpet makes me really nervous. But I am. It's so funny because I take my best friend every year, and usually we sit on the higher beer, and then we do the red carpet, and then me and her go to the parties afterwards. And this time it feels slightly different, but I think the same thing is going to happen. You sit down, you enjoy the show, then you go and party.
It's just wonderful because I love this award. I think this is a really special award. I think everyone feels that. I think it's the reason why it gets this lovely event, the press conference, to celebrate people who are putting the graft in, in the sort of earlier days in their career, and who are making waves, who have the potential to be change makers. I think it's great. I think it's a real motivator as well for other people who might be coming into the industry, and I think it's also a wonderful reminder for people who are more experienced in the industry to just maybe, reminisce about the time when they were first starting out. So I think this award does a lot for the industry. I feel like we've already shared it. I mean, I did tell her a couple of days before, by the way, and I think that's a really lovely thing.
And Shana won last year, Women Dream Co-Star.
Yeah.
So you did make the call, you did talk to her about it.
I did, but I just I waited because I was like, I'm not going to tell everyone, and I knew it was all hush-hush. And then I just sort of mentioned it in passing, and she was like, "Oh yeah, great, of course." And I was like, "Cool." But yeah, I think it's really lovely, and for me, there's something beautiful about the connectivity in this industry and finding your people, finding your community, and there are moments where you feel like you're doing something right, you know, if you end up treading similar paths and getting to work with each other and getting to see each other again and getting to celebrate each other. So yeah, that's like an added extra for me.
So this year we've got a lot of new exciting elements to the awards. The nominees party is at the National Gallery, which is, you know, it's an absolute icon of a venue, and it'll be lovely to host our American friends there. We're moving to the Royal Festival Hall for the ceremony. We have Richard E. Grant and Alison Hammond both hosting, and we have some changes to the TV format which we hope will delight audiences on BBC One and iPlayer. So there's a lot of change all at once.